Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all an update to my ABC Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile for November 2023. Wanted to update the deck because a while back we did get Ancient Fairy Dragon off of the ban list, and while the card definitely did help with the overall playstyle, since the errata it's more limited but still much playable in the deck for its option for searching out field spells and being able to summon out our other ABC monsters onto the field to then be able to use their union card effects to equip additional pieces to then be able to summon out our main go-to boss monster, ABC Dragon Buster. There are options to also add Therion monsters to the deck, which if you wanted to do so, I can show you what cards you can take out for those cards. But let's go ahead and at first get started with the deck profile before we do so. So we'll go ahead and start off with the main deck monsters. For our actual ABC core, we will run the 3 copies of a Assault Core. Once per turn, you can either target one light machine monster you control or equip this card to that target, or unequip this card and special summon it. A monster equipped with this card is unaffected by your opponent's monster effects except its own. And also, if the equipped monster would be destroyed by battle or card effect, destroy this card instead. And if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add one other Union monster from your graveyard to your hand. So a Assault Core just helps with the recycle power from your Union monsters from your graveyard back to your hand. It's more that setup that you can then attach additional Union monsters like our B Buster Drake, which we're also running 3 copies of, because the main play you want to use is to get these monsters ready by then being able to banish them from your field or graveyard to summon out your ABC Dragon Buster onto the field. So then you have the same equip or special summon option with B Buster Drake, unaffected by your opponent's spell effects while it's equipped with this card. And then also if it's sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add a Union monster from your deck to your hand. So one of the more better searchable cards, since unlike a Assault Core, it searches from your deck instead of your graveyard, but still another 3 of, so you have all the multiples ready for your multiple ABC Dragon Busters you can summon out. And the last of the Union monsters, 3 copies of Seed Crush Wyvern, having the same equip and special summon options, making it unaffected by trap effects of your opponent, and also with the option of when it's sent from the field to the graveyard to special summon 1 Union monster from your hand. So with the add effect of all the other 2, when you have this card sent, being able to send 1 more additional card, and for the fact that all of these cards are soft once per turns, which means if you have a completely new copy on the field, you can use the Union equip effect as well for these additional cards. We need more of a swarm power in the deck also to give us either some extra deck options to then send off the monsters. So I run the 3 copies of Gold Gadget and the 3 copies of Silver Gadget as well. These cards just help because then you can special summon a level 4 machine monster from your hand, so that targets all of the Union monsters we mentioned before also with this card. And then also, if this card is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can special summon 1 level 4 gadget monster from your deck except for Gold Gadget. So then you can use that and Silver Gadget vice versa to then summon out another copy if they happen to be destroyed, giving you a special summon of another monster from your hand, preferably the Union monster, because then, like I said, you can go for a rank 4 Xyz play with those cards, or a Link 2 summon to set them up in the graveyard even quicker, or even beforehand go for the Union equip effect that those cards provide for your other cards. And then for some additional Union monsters, the 1 copy of Union Driver, just as another special summon option in the deck as well. And the 1 Torque Tuner Gear. Once per turn, you can either target 1 monster you control, equip this card to it, or unequip it, and then special summon it. A monster equipped with this card is treated as a tuner. So it gives us more of an option to go for the Ancient Fairy Dragon play, but it's more just in here for the added option of another Union monster to be able to equip onto also. Our main tuner monster that we use for Ancient Fairy Dragon is Destrudo, the Lost Dragon's Frisson, just for the special summon option from your hand or graveyard onto the field, targeting that other monster, reducing its level, and then having the 2 monsters needed to then go into the synchro play for our Ancient Fairy Dragon, which was also recently reprinted with the proper errata in the Maze of Memory set, but also more recently in the Rarity Collection as well. So just needing the 1 Destrudo, we have other cards to set it up in the graveyard, all the more fast faster. So that's really all we need for this monster count, with the rest of the main deck monsters just being 3 copies of Ash Blossom and 3 copies of Nibiru. Nibiru doesn't really hurt the deck too much with the tributes, because then you can just set up the ABC monsters all the faster in the graveyard for you to banish, and then the Ash Blossom is just the standard go-to and another card that's more readily available from the rarity collection. For the spells, running the 3 copies of Union Hanger. With this card, when it's activated, you can add 1 light machine type Union monster from your deck to your hand. Once per turn of a light machine Union monster is normal or special summon to your field except during the damage step, you can target one of those monsters and equip 1 appropriate light machine monster Union with a different card name from your deck to that monster, but the Union monster equipped cannot be special summoned this turn. You can only activate 1 Union Hanger per turn, but giving you that additional equip just helps to set up your ABC monsters all the quicker with this card on the field. It's why it's a definite 3 of for the activation, giving you that search for the proper card as well, depending on the ABC monster you want to add to your hand. I also run 2 copies of Unauthorized Reactivation. You target 1 machine monster you control, equip 1 appropriate machine Union monster from your hand or deck to that monster, but that Union monster equipped cannot be special summoned this turn, so almost like Union Hanger with just an additional quick play option for that machine monster you already control. Only running the 2 copies though, it's really all you need, I feel, with the deck to begin with our other field spell option being 2 copies of Dragon Ravine. Once per turn, you can discard 1 card, then activate one of these effects. Add 1 level 4 lower Dragoonity monster from your deck to your hand, but the main play we use it is for the second card effect, sending 1 dragon monster from your deck to the graveyard. So for the discard of a card, we can send Destrudo to the graveyard, setting it up in the graveyard for us to then use for our synchro play. For some of the one-ofs for these spells, the 1 copy of Set Rotation, since we are running Union Hanger and Dragon Ravine, it's just another easy search option to also stop additional field spell activation of our opponents, but no less get to the proper one we want for our own plays. 1 Call by the Grave, 1 Foolish Barrel, another Destrudo setup, and the 1 Terraforming to search out for the proper field spell we may want as well. With the only traps that we run in the deck being 2 copies of Metaverse, once again, another field spell searcher in the deck, and 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence as just another additional hand trap to run along with Ash Blossom and Nibiru. And then for the extra deck, we're running the 3 copies of ABC Dragon Buster, needing the A Assault Core, B Buster Drake, and C Crush Wyvern to summon this card. Must first be special summoned from your extra deck by banishing the above cards you control from and or from your graveyard. You do not use Polymerization. Once per turn quick effect, you can discard 1 card to target 1 card on the field, banish it, and during your opponent's turn quick effect, you contribute this card to target 3 of your banished Light Machine Union monsters with different names and special summon them. So a great option for the tribute of this card to target those cards. It's also why we're running 3 copies, so then we have the multiples of ABC Dragon Buster to go into to be able to special summon back onto the field to then reuse with those other monsters we summoned back out, just being an easy banish as well for our opponent's cards. The 1 copy of Ancient Fairy Dragon. During your main phase, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower monster from your hand. You cannot conduct your battle phase the turn you activate this effect, and during your main phase, you can destroy as many cards in the field zone as possible, minimum 1. If you do gain 1,000 life points, then you can add 1 field spell with a different name than the destroyed cards from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Ancient Fairy Dragon once per turn, so it's also why we are using a different name field spell. Either you go for the Dragon Ravine search or the Union Hanger search, depending on what you destroyed off of the Ancient Fairy Dragon, but also during the main phase, being able to special summon 1 additional monster from our hand means if we have that 1 Union monster to begin with, getting the last one needed from our hand to the field as well can easily be accomplished thanks to this Synchro monster, and all the more easier just needing the Destrudo play to do so. And then also the 1 copy of Platinum Gadget, being able to use the special summon of your level 4 Gadget monster from your deck. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, having more search and just needing 2 machine monsters to make this card means we also have access to those other Gadget monsters we run in the deck. The 1 Barricade Board Blocker, the 1 IP Masquerena, the 1 SP Little Knight, and the 1 Nightmare Unicorn, and the 1 Apollosa for all the Link monsters we run in the deck, with our Xyz monsters being the 1 copy of Gear Gigan X, 1 Steel Swarm Roach, 1 Baguska, the 1 Zeus, and also the 1 Sky Crisis as another card that I am enjoying using more in the deck, just with its potential overlay power with some of our other cards. And then as for some of the go-to plays in the deck, as I said before, the level 4 setup can be very useful. You can go for the normal summon of one of your Union monsters, and then having the option for the equip of this card, depending on if you opened up the Union Hanger or not. You then have the play with this card to allow that equip onto your monster, or if you just go for the activation of your Dragon Ravine, you can have the discard of one of your other cards. If you have one of your other Union monsters, all the better for that summon. If not, you may want to keep it in your hand for the other Ancient Fairy Dragon play, but then you will use the discard of, let's just say, one of your other cards to then send the Destrudo from your deck to the graveyard. You will pay half your life, summoning Destrudo back onto the field, again going for the level 7 Synchro play for your Ancient Fairy Dragon on the field. Then this card being able to special summon a level 4 lower monster from your hand, and then during your main phase you can destroy as many cards in the field zone to gain 1,000 life, to have a field spell with a different name, so you can destroy the Dragon Ravine and search out the other needed field spell, which is your Union Hanger. Activate Union Hanger to then add a Light Machine monster from your deck to your hand. So then you add the specified monster that you have. If you had the discard of a specific one in your graveyard, you can then go for that additional search, summoning out the card with your special summon of your Ancient Fairy Dragon as well, or just go for the additional one, as I said, in your hand. That'll be the one special summoned out for that card. And then also for that additional monster, equip one of the monsters needed from your hand to that monster for that play, or if it's sent from the graveyard, to add one from your deck to your hand as well. Depending on the search and setup you want to use for your Ancient Fairy Dragon, you have that play available to you, having the majority of the monsters set up in the graveyard for you to use also. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you enjoyed. Like I said, it was just a quick update to the ABC deck, since I never got around to updating it since the Ancient Fairy Dragon release off of the ban list. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.